Okay, hey guys, this is Chloe here. Of course, Chloe Reed, the Nail Tech coach, and we are going to go over something very important. The craziest thing that ever happened to me. A client tried to get me canceled, and not even canceled in the sense of canceled, but canceled in the sense of she. I feel like she purposely tried to ruin my business, and let me explain to you how that didn't work and what actually went on that day because it was insane. And I'm actually gonna put the screenshot up of the review that she left on Yelp. Yelp is the only one I can find, but she left that same review on Google, on Yelp, and I feel like Foursquare. That's how long ago it was. But this is what really made me think like, okay, whenever you're responding to clients, make sure it's all above board. Why? Because them screenshots, if she would have shared it, it would have just said what I'm about to explain to you right now. So, my name is Chloe. I'm the Nail Tech coach, Glam Nails 210, Glam Goodies. You can see me all over the internet, helping nail techs learn how to navigate their business. I've been doing nails for 21 years, and today we're going to talk about how to talk professionally to your clients or clients that you're trying to fire and get rid of in order to pretty much combat them sharing any screenshots or any conversations that you've had with them that look like you're going to take. Why? Because a lot of times when you do that, although you may feel better, they're going to take them same screenshots. We're in the era of social media, and they're going to share them to people and show them like, oh, this is why she's such a terrible nail tech. Her customer service is boo, blah blah. How do I know? Because I've seen those screenshots in different Facebook groups, in Reddit groups, and you don't want that to be you. Because while people do have a short attention span and it may blow over, it might take 6 months for that to even get buried under all the other content that people post. And then of course you know they have the time hop, right? So if they have a time hop and like, remember that time this nail tech tried to dot 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 dot, you don't want that to be you. So let's talk about it. This client came from Google. Was not from San Antonio. I'm not from San Antonio either. So I guess what happened was she was looking for another nail tech. The individuals that she was going to, she didn't like their service, and I'm gonna put a pin in that because it's a little bit more to it than she didn't like their service. Let me give you some background information. I have been in San Antonio for 15 years. At that point, it was about 10. When I moved here, there's a nail tech group, and all of us nail techs that are in San Antonio that feel like hanging out, we hang out quarterly. So these nail techs are not these nail techs are friends. These are not enemies. We're not frenemies. None of that. These nail techs are qualified. Like, I've got my nails done by them before. We've been to classes and trainings before. We share information. We network to try to find clients, other nail techs to go to within our group, because we know like sometimes it's difficult. You can't fit everybody in. So let's cut to when this client came. When the client came, like, I have Square. So Square sends you the confirmation message. My lights are automatic. Square sends you like the confirmation message, and in my message I always make sure I include the address. This comes twice before their appointment. It comes like 48 hours before and then the day of. So it has the address and everything else, so they can find it. They can just click on it and then do Google Maps. And when she got there, she was 20 minutes late to the appointment, and I was just like, bro, cause like being late is cool, but it's not cool. Being late is not cool, and it's even not cooler if you're a new client, because I don't really know what you want. A lot of times when they get there, it's like the condition of their nails. What is it going to look like? What kind of work am I going to have to do? You just never know when it's a new person. So when she got there, like I said, she was 20 minutes late, and then she comes into the salon or whatever, and I'm like, oh, okay, hey, come on in, blah blah. And I'm really just like trying to figure out like, well, what kind of style do you want? She had sent me some pictures beforehand, but then when she sits down, she didn't want those pictures, and I was like, because we're already behind the 8 ball here with her being 20 minutes late. She had I think she had a build in a bottle gel application on, or a gel. She had gel on, and that brings me to issue number one. So I was asking her about her nails. I usually just ask general questions like, what do you like about this? Do you not like this? Just trying to find out, do you know what you have on your nails? All of these things that I asked before, but it's different when you ask a client, like when they first come to you, because I don't know, sometimes I feel like people don't really know what they have on their nails. So I'm asking her all these questions and trying to figure out what she has. And I'm like, okay, trying to figure out the bottles. She had been to several salons in the area, like I said, people that I know, nail techs that are actually friends with products that I have used before that I know are good. And not just any nail techs, like certified C&D educators, certified cocoa educators in nail techs. Like, girl, these people know what they're doing. Like, these people actually teach the classes for these companies. These are really good operators. She started bashing all of them. Then there was an issue where she said that the one tech did not do her nails right because it was too much room here. And I was like, so when she did it, she was like, no, not when she did it 4 weeks later. So it grew out? No, she didn't do it right. That was one. Two, she was picking. And I don't like to deal with like all the picking because you can cause infection. I don't want to do nails over like near open wounds, this, that, and the third. Like, this is my first time meeting this person. So I'm getting bad, like it's red flags after red flags. Then she hits me with this. She takes her cell phone out of her purse, props it up on the desk, and starts watching at home security video or just video in her house of her significant other managing the children. Yes. Because what's going on here? What are we doing? Not to mention, okay, so you're bashing people, you take that out, and like I'm in the middle of the service. She'd already washed her hands, like we're doing things that she's in and out the lamp. She was like, oh, you already started. I need to put these gloves on. Puts these gloves on, gets lint in the nails. We're 20 minutes behind. When I tell you this was a stress-filled appointment, this was a stress-filled appointment. And then to wrap it all up, when we're just about done, she hits me, well, how much is this going to be? Now, we had already discussed price before at length when we were discussing the design. She hits me, well, how much is this going to be? Because I know y'all want y'all money. I mean, why wouldn't we want our money? This is a business. We get paid for providing a service. So, of course, we want the price. Oh, this, that. If I would have known. And I'm like, well, you can reference your text messages. We did talk about this beforehand. Because listen, if you're new, we're talking price, style, everything. I don't do freestyles on brand new people. Why don't I do freestyles on brand new people? I don't know you. Just put something together. No, we're not going to just put something together on your first visit with me, for the very simple fact is I don't know you. I don't know what you like. You send a bunch of pictures, none of it's cohesive, but what do you like from it? Case in point, she only liked one thing off of all the pictures she sent. She liked the base color off of one, and she liked a few swoops off the other, right? I wish I could find the nails. I don't think I can find the nails. It was the most labor intensive, stressful appointment that I have ever had. And at that point, my 15-year career doing nails. And I decided that day, like, she cannot come back. I am not interested in this individual coming back. Let's run down the red flags. She bashed other techs, which I personally know and are actual industry friends. We don't do hating here in the San Antonio nail tech area. All the old heads, we locked in. 2, late, 20 minutes. 3, her understanding of the application, while I do not expect clients to understand exactly 100% what we're doing, but her understanding of the application and the time that it takes and how nails grow was not what I expected for an adult, right? Because to say she didn't do it right, but it's 4 weeks later and it's all the way up here, that means it grew out. No, it didn't grow out. Huh. Cool. All these red flags added up to this. 1, she'll be a continual problem and a continual stressor. 2, if I don't do whatever it is that she wants me to do, she's going to bash me to another nail tech like she already bashed all of those other nail techs to me. 3, that's just bad energy, and I definitely do not want bad energy around me, so she had to go. So when I was thinking about what I'm doing, like, okay, so she went through the whole service, nitpicking, talking, blah, blah, blah. Then, paid, gave me significant drama about paying. She didn't know, but I ran back to text messages like, but this is our, conversation that we had, because I'm going to bring up receipts every single time, because why wouldn't I? Oh, okay, I didn't remember that. Which I was like, that's crazy. Like, we actually had this conversation, and then you talking about you don't remember it, but when I run back the receipts, we show all of your responses, and it's like, I don't want this to be a problem every single time. Negative ghostwriter. So I was like, okay, professionally, what I'm gonna do. So after she leaves, I'm assessing the appointment, and I'm thinking to myself like, Now the next lady that came in is one of my like oldies with goodies. She's been coming to me for the whole time I've been in San Antonio. She also works for the SBA, and I was telling her about it. And let's be very clear, my background is strategic business management. I got 2 bachelor's and a master's degree. I used to do store management, so I know how to let a customer down easy, because she's not a client, she's a customer. This is her first time. She is not on client level, she's on customer level. So what did I do? I was like, I need to think of a professional way to talk to her. So after talking to my SBA client, I was like, this is what I'm thinking to say to let her go, because I'm going to do that today. The day she came, she had already booked, because I am very much a salesperson, even though I'm doing nails. Your 2-week appointment, the follow-up is always booked before you even leave, because what? Maintenance. You want to keep looking good? Keep coming back. I had to let her go, not a day before she was supposed to come, but I needed to let her go in this same week. So I worked on my professional language, what I was going to tell her based on the appointment and everything. And to be very clear, as a service provider, you choose who you operate on, right? You choose. Just like when you go in stores, I think they still have it on the doors: no shoes, no shirt, no service. It used to be like that when I was coming up. It would say no shoes, no shirt, no service. And then you basically couldn't come in the store if you wasn't dressed, like fully clothed. I don't know why they started that, but that's what I'm going on. So as an operator, you get to pick who you work with. So since that's the case, tap, 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 I send her the text message about how, unfortunately, I don't think I'm a good fit for her, only because it didn't seem like she was as happy with the service as she would have been if someone else had done it. And by understanding her last experiences that she had with other nail techs, I would hate to disappoint her in the future, and then go through the same things we went through with how much we were going to charge, the back and forth. And also, unfortunately, the tardiness was unacceptable. Did she have a rebuttal? Yes, she had a rebuttal. She was like, but I didn't even do anything. I didn't talk bad about anybody. Literally sat here the whole appointment talking bad about everybody. And I was like, I understand your frustrations, I really do, but I do wish you the best in finding somebody else. Why? Because I'm not going to be it. I canceled her appointment. I made sure she got that cancellation, because I use Square Appointments. So in Square Appointments, when you cancel an appointment or edit an appointment, it will send them a text message. So she got the text message and the emails, and then I blocked her from booking again. And I put in her notes screenshots of our conversation. I wonder if I still have those. Even if you can't put screenshots, put a summation of what you talked about. That way, if the client calls you or texts you from another number, that has happened to me before too. After I let a client go, they're like, oh, I've never been before. And I'm like, on your profile, you got several numbers, and this is one of them. The last time we talked, you didn't want to come here because you didn't want to pay the price, blah, blah. What changed? So I'll try to find out what changed. Now, can they come back? No. Wishy-washy is not. I don't operate wishy-washy. I'm 100 all the time, so I want clients to be 100 all the time. And it is important to me to operate in this space the most comfortable way I can for me and for the client. Why? Because I do this every day. And I don't want that usually they say bad juju. I don't want that bad energy on me. So, and it's draining. It's mentally, physically, and emotionally draining dealing with somebody who is, for all intents and purposes, unhappy. And it don't even have to be about being unhappy about the service. They could just be unhappy in general. So I'm gonna put right here the review she left, and then I want you to pause it and pay attention to the language that she used. She talked very specifically about if you don't vibe with her, she doesn't want you to come back. If you don't follow her policies and procedures, she doesn't want you to come back, which is exactly what I said to her in the text message. And I had not even seen this review. The only reason I ended up seeing this review is because I moved to a different salon suite closer to my home. And one of my current clients Google directions on how to get to the new spot. And you know, Google, they'll attach everything to that address. And she seen the Yelp review, it came up. She was like, girl, did you know this lady left this review? And I was like, girl, what? And it was like a year later, so she had already been gone. And she left the same verbiage on Google, on Yelp, like I said before, and I think Foursquare. But I don't think Foursquare is around anymore. So she left that same language. And my response was exactly, if, and you can read it, if a client comes and they're bashing other nail techs, like, that's unprofessional. You know, even if she's not like a nail tech, like, no, where's your decorum? That's not how we act. We don't just come to new people or start talking to new people and instantly start bashing people. If other people do, that's cool, but I do not. And if you do it here, that means you're gonna do it somewhere else. And let me explain something to you. Me and the girls, we meet quarterly, like I said before. So we meet quarterly, and I was like, it was our Christmas time, and I was like, oh my gosh, guys, I had this girl, she blah blah blah, and I'm just telling like this, like, has anybody ever experienced this? She said she went to you, and they was like, yeah, I stopped answering the phone. So they ghosted her. I did not want to ghost her. I wanted her to know very specifically, you cannot come here for these reasons, and I wish you the best. It's like, I don't have no ill feelings. I just don't think you're the best fit for my business, period, right? And instantly, as soon as you tell them that, how dare you? And that's why she put those reviews. The other techs ghosted her. They just ghosted her. Which means if you see her on the street somewhere and she's like, oh, I've been looking for you, what you gonna say? One lady literally told her that she retired. She, in fact, was not retired. No, I'm not doing that. I'm going to tell you 100% you can't come here because of this, this, and this. I don't want to lie to you. It's unnecessary. I don't know you. As an adult, why am I lying? Right. Okay. So you guys read everything. I want to keep this video short, so I'm going to go ahead and do a part 2. In a part 2, I'm going to go over breaking down why you should definitely have more professional language when you're talking to clients because of that fact. And this was like in 2001. It's probably even worse now. We've seen cancel culture and how it works, and it's worse now. So join me in the next video when I talk over the type of language that we're going to use in order to let a client go. And it's not personal. I never let it get personal. It's all about business. So if you're new, if you've been in this for a while and you're having issues or issues, or you just don't have the confidence when telling people like they're not for you and you're not for them, I'm going to show you exactly what to say in the next video. So stay tuned.